All right. Hello, YouTube. I'm back again with another video. So far, no one's watched my videos, but that's fine. Just putting out videos in the start here. Now, today I want to talk about physical touch and kind of my journey with it, how I got more comfortable with it, how I've gone from being someone who wasn't very fond of any physical touch at all to being someone who actually likes it quite a lot. So to give some context about my journey with this, I was diagnosed last year, about 18 months ago, with autism level 1. And it just totally made everything click in my brain. So the first few months was a little bit weird, but as the time has gone by now after my diagnosis, I've come to understand why I struggled with all these different things with my life. Goal setting, it could be with making money, it could be with socializing, and especially dating, which is what I'm talking about mainly on this channel. And a part of that, talking about dating, we're talking about physicality, right? Because when you're dating someone, it's natural to, be physical in some way, if that's a hug or if that's, other things. Now, when I was young, I didn't really ever like when people were hugging me. And it would depend on what kind of clothes I was wearing, right? So if I was wearing a sweater that I felt didn't feel good, right? That was too stiff or whatever, that made hugging worse. But if I was wearing softer clothes, then a hug felt okay. If I was wearing sunscreen, I didn't like to get hugged. There's all these different things. Now, today, I'm not as sensitive to that as I was, but still, if I'm wearing, a shirt, if I have to wear a shirt, like a button-up shirt, if I'm in a wedding or something, right? I do not like people touching me. I don't like people touching me then around my neck. Then I don't like people hugging me, because then it's just too sensory overwhelming, right? Now, I want this video to be, since my channel is primarily talking about dating and being an autistic man who's figured out the dating life. And by the way, if you want to learn more about that, I've put together a PDF and a little video for you to watch on how I fixed my dating life, basically gone from unkissed at 26 years old to living the dating life of my dreams. So if you want to check it out, just click the link in the description. It's free. Check it out if you want to. Now, to go back to that about physicality and specifically dating, for me to get comfortable with physicality was a little bit of a journey. And to give even more context around that, my love language, I've figured out, is physical touch, which is so strange when you have sensory problems to crave having physical contact, but at the same time, it feels a bit strange. But I got more comfortable with it by just repeated exposure to it. Now, I didn't realize that I was autistic, right, when I started my dating journey. So I guess I would force myself to be physical probably more than I should have. So in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have done kind of the all-in immersion that I did with physical contact when I started dating. I would have done it more gradually. But I got more and more comfortable with it the more relaxed I was in those situations. So if I was with a woman, we were sitting in the couch and she was sitting close to me and I felt relaxed, then it would start feeling better and better for me, right? So I wouldn't really worry about it. And it would get more comfortable, if that makes any sense. And over time, I would get maybe desensitized. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that for me, fixing my sensory issue with touch came from a gradual exposure type of deal, or exposure, not even gradual exposure, but um, from just being exposed to it. And I think if I had known that I had autism earlier on, maybe I wouldn't have gone through these steps of exposing myself to it. And then I would have missed out on something that I find to be very rewarding today in my life. But I think a lot of it comes down to, first and foremost, being comfortable in the clothes that you wear, right? So that when someone's touching you, you're not feeling the sensory issue of the clothes. And even like, as I said, wearing sunscreen or, whatever it is that makes it more difficult to be, to experience physical touch. Another thing that plays in for me, which I think is a little bit strange, and I don't know, like I don't have any clear data on it, right? So it could be that I'm imagining it, but I've tried so many times that I think it's real, and that is diet. So when I eat certain things, it could be too much sugar, eating gluten, especially eating like the pizza or pasta. And if I do that several days in a row, my skin will get very sensitive and my sensory issues will increase. The same thing is true if I eat citrus or if I eat tomatoes, especially like concentrate, like the puree. And again, if I eat pizza, right, it's the worst thing because then you have wheat and you have the tomato. And that's made a big difference for me. So when I cut those things out, it's easier for me to be like to get physical, you know. As always, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it, what your experience is on this topic. And I think a part of it is when it comes to autism, right? A part of the experience is to get comfortable with certain inputs, but at the same time, be accepting of who you are. So I'm fairly newly diagnosed, so I'm still trying to figure this out, but trying to find that balance between when should I kind of push myself a little bit in order to make something that I enjoy more comfortable, or that I could enjoy more comfortable, and when should I just accept myself 100% and say, you know what, I don't like anyone touching me. And maybe that stuff comes down to your goals, right? Because I really wanted to be experiencing more physical touch. So then I had to figure out a way to make that more manageable. As always, very curious about your thoughts on this. And I'll just end the video here. I hope you got some value from it. If you want to check out my dating stuff, click the link in the description. It's cool. I also have some other videos now on YouTube that you can check out if you're interested. So yeah, we'll talk again